It's another beautiful day here in the Shire, where shortbread is supposed to be simple. Just sugar, butter, flour. But today, Renee's working on something a little trickier. A melt-in-your-mouth shortbread with a crunch you can actually hear. This time, she's making
Shire Shortbread. I went looking for a good shortbread recipe and found about 200. Some were too sweet, some were too dry, and a few had some ingredients that definitely didn't belong. Really weird. So I made a version that comes somewhere in the middle without getting weird. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to make it. First step, we've got some flour here, and I have also included a little bit of semolina, fine semolina. What this is going to do is give this a little texture, like shortbread's got this dry texture, and this just adds a little bit to that, and I'm gonna whisk that together. Okay, now I'm gonna get my mixer, and we are going to, I've got some butter here, and then I've got confectionery sugar. The confectionery sugar is really a must because it makes for such a smooth dough, and it all blends together so much better than granulated sugar. Even if you're using caster sugar, I would highly recommend using confectionery sugar. We're gonna just make sure this gets mixed really well together. In this case, I'm keeping this on low. I can't believe I didn't turn my phone off. We're not trying to incorporate air into this. We're trying to get this mixed together so that it's smooth, but we don't want to put like usually when you're mixing things with a mixer, you're trying to get air in there. We don't want that. We just want to get this mixed up. Just scrape those sides down. And now we're going to put our flour in, and I have slightly used the 3-2-1 method here, which means 1 part sugar, 2 parts butter, and 3 parts flour. And if you don't have a recipe in front of you, that works every time by weight. Okay, and now what we're going to do is just mix this together. What that butter, the additional butter, it makes these easier to slice. So whatever pan you put this in, it makes it much easier to slice. The other thing it does is if you're using a decorative pan, it also allows it lets it adhere to the inside of those decorations on the decorative part of the pan. And we're just gonna keep stirring this. Okay, and then I'm just gonna take this a little bit and kind of knead it together so that it's holding together. Oh, it feels soft. I don't know how to describe how it feels, and short. It's just, oh, it feels wonderful. Okay, we're gonna put this out here, get that all out, and give that a little bit of a knead. I just want this to all stick together. Make sure it's mixed properly. Yep, that looks perfect. It's just, I can tell it's got a little bit more butter than some recipes have. So today I'm using a decorative Nordic Ware shortbread pan. It's a 6-cup version. These things are awesome. I also have another one that's not holiday themed. It's like summery, and it just kind of makes it kind of fun. What we're going to do is we want to make sure to get this greased thoroughly, and so I've melted some butter, and I'm going to take a brush to make sure I get everything in there. I like the butter taste. It just adds to what we're doing. I'm just going to make sure that we cover every little nook and cranny in here. And if you don't have a decorative pan, this is formulated for an 8x8 inch cake pan, and you can do exactly what I'm doing and put it in. We're looking for about a 1/2 inch on the shortbread, and that is the pan that it's been formulated for. Okay, that looks great. Now we're going to take our dough and we're going to put it in here and we're going to spread it into the pan, and I'm going to go up to this edge of this pan so that it all comes out even. You want to make sure you're pressing down on this to make sure that all those nooks and crannies get filled. My handy dandy dough roller, and I'm going to start rolling this out. Make sure that it's as flat as it can be. This is going to be the bottom. So, all right. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to put this in the refrigerator and let it cool down so that when it goes into the oven, it is a little bit colder, not so warm. It'll help that pop a little bit and make it even, the texture even more shortbread-like. Okay.
She hums that song they used to sing as the shortbread bakes and the timers ring. One bite in and the years fall away.
Okay, so we will wait. I'm probably gonna leave that in there for about 20 minutes, and then we'll be back and I'll show you how to cook it, and then we're going to decorate it.
And now the house is still, but she knows the steps by heart. She still presses.
So this is chilled nicely, and I'm going to take, you can take a fork and do this, but I'm going to take my handy dandy meat thermometer and make holes in this. And you're doing this so that it doesn't puff and get steam trapped in there. Okay, so I'm going to put this in a 325 degree oven, and it's going to take somewhere between 35 and probably 50 minutes, but we're looking for lightly browned around the edges and a matte top here. So we'll put this in.
It's just gone into the oven, and just in time too, because someone just shouted, "Where's the scissors?" I have a feeling I'm about to be recruited to wrap something oddly shaped. Stick around. We'll be right back.
I'd like to know, have you ever made shortbread using the 1-2-3 ratio? Or do you have your own version that breaks the rules a little bit? Please let me know in the comments below. I love, love, love hearing from all of you. In the meantime, we're going to make the decorating sugar for this, which is just a thicker version of the icing I use for drizzling. So I've got about a cup of confectionery sugar. I sifted it. I'm going to put about probably a teaspoon and a half. And I've got 5 tablespoons here, and we'll see how much of this we use. And we want this to be relatively thick, but pipeable. And I like to make this ahead so that it sits and gets all that sugar dissolved in there. So that's a little bit too thick for what we're going to do with that. So I'm going to just put a little more. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to add just a tiny bit more milk. That looks pretty good to me. Okay, so now we're gonna cover this with a piece of saran wrap so it doesn't get a hard cover on it. And then we're gonna wait for that to cook. And then we will do the next step. Oh, this looks perfect. Okay, this has been about 35 minutes, and this looks brown around the edges, slightly brown here, and it's dry and soft to the touch. So we're going to leave this for about 10 minutes, and I'm going to turn it over to get it out of the pan, and then we'll keep going. Okay, so this has been out of the oven for about 10 minutes, and this was soft and I could push it down at that moment in time, and now it is I can't push it down. So it's, as it cools off, it gets harder and harder. And right now what I want to do is get this out of this pan if I can. It's still a little warm, so I'll just flip it like this. And hopefully this works. Just gonna let it, we'll just let it sit for a minute. This is a, okay. Ta-da! Yeah, it came out! Woo! Oh! That looks beautiful. Oh my word, that looks just beautiful. Look at it. It looks so beautiful, and it has the scoring lines here. So it's already scored. If you're using the 8x8 pan, you want to score this before you put it in the oven. Just not all the way to the bottom, just slightly like this is, so that you can cut it. This is gorgeous. And then, oh my gosh, it came out of the pan, and look, none of the things are broken on here. I don't know if you can see all of those, but it's got all the detail on the pieces. And so that buttering really helped it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to let this sit and completely cool off. And then I'm going to show you how to make this look very festive. Okay, see you soon. Okay, so this has cooled off. And then I have a pastry bag here. It's a small one. And I have a tip down at the bottom. I'll show you what to do with that in a minute. I want to put it in here. And we're going to pick this up, give it a shake. And a cool way to get that extra stuff down is just to take this bench scraper and give it a scrape down. I have not taken off the end yet. Squeezing that down inside, and now I need to get that end off. So I'm gonna take my handy dandy Victorinox knife and just go around the outside of that. And there you go. So now I have this tip that is a little bit thicker. I made this earlier. Then this tip, I'm gonna start with this small tip. And some of this I might wanna use, it just gives you some variety if you can set up 2 of them. And this is not my forte. And when you use your pastry bag, the best way I've figured out how to do it is you wanna just use your one hand to squeeze, and then a finger or part of your hand here. Let's just go with this thin. And it kind of keeps it steady. I can see my hand shaking. You kind of get used to the pressure after a while, and they stop shaking. And you get better at it as you go along. I really am so bad at this. Okay. So, this looks like, and I don't even want to say one of my grandchildren did it because I don't want to insult them, but this is not what I had in my mind as far as a decorating job is concerned. But you get the idea. This is a beautiful sight to see before I put my icing on it. But if you can decorate, this is so cool. And this is just to give you an idea. And then I hope somebody out there can do this right. I am terrible. I'm still working on the piping thing. I work on it every year, and I'm no better year over year. But you know what? It's still going to taste great. Okay, I'm going to put it down on the counter. And the nice thing about this is, here, that's what shortbread's supposed to sound like. So, let's take a piece. Oh, that cuts nicely. Oh, or horrors, should I mess up my designs? Oh, look at that inside. Oh, it's it's shortbread. It's falling apart. It's exactly what it's supposed to look like inside. It's crunchy and hard, not soft. The outside edge is especially crunchy. And I'm just going to take a little taste. This is perfect shortbread. And I have to say that I really like the sugar on the top. Oh, I can feel the cornmeal just ever so slight, not the cornmeal, the semolina. It's giving it an additional shortbread crumb feeling. And you know, I might just take this whole thing and just cover it with sugar. But anyway, this is a perfect shortbread. So good. Put more on. Really good shortbread. Ta-da! Thank you. And happy holidays.
Ready for seconds? Don't put your spoon down yet. Tap this video and Renee will meet you there.